Greetings to all lovers of mystery and secrets. Water covers a large part of our planet. Its depths are unexplored. Monstrous aquatic inhabitants, real treasures, warning messages, and even ancient civilizations, all of this is hidden from our eyes. But during droughts, bodies of water reveal their secrets to humans. In this video, I've gathered 15 of the most amazing and mysterious things found in rivers after a catastrophic drop in water levels. Enjoy watching. In October 2021, a woman named Crystal Foster, along with her family, went to collect stones on the shore of the receding Mississippi River. That's when she found bones that she believed resembled human remains. The woman immediately contacted the police and reported the discovery. The state's chief medical examiner confirmed that the bones indeed belonged to a human. The remains included the lower jaw, ribs, and other unidentified bone fragments. The police initiated an investigation. In January 2022, they finally identified the person whose remains were found, 50-year-old Mississippi resident Michael Moffitt, who had been missing since 2020. The circumstances of his death remain unclear. In September 1944, near Prkovo in the Danube Gorge, about 200 German military ships were intentionally submerged on the orders of the fleet commander. Soldiers deliberately sank their vessels to escape the advancing Red Army, thereby blocking the passage through the Danube. Today, many ships from the Second World War era are in museums, but some remain underwater. In the summer of 2022, the Danube River reached a record low, revealing military ships that had been sunk in 1944. To this day, the area remains dangerous as there are many explosive devices along with the sunken ships. Local residents are seriously concerned, and Serbian authorities are planning the disposal of shipwreck debris and demoning the hazardous area. In the western part of Antarctica, scientists, while observing the accelerated movement of glaciers, accidentally discovered a new river. Its length is 460 kilometers, surpassing the Thames and the Onega rivers. However, the discovery is not joyful because the river's movement is causing glacier melting. The average temperature in this part of Antarctica has already increased by 9 degrees. Scientists are actively searching for other hidden rivers beneath the ice. On May 21, 2011, New York residents discovered a strange creature under the Brooklyn Bridge. It was very large, with a body resembling a snake covered in fish scales and a head resembling a pit bull. The monster's photo spread on the internet, and users speculated about its origin. Some thought it was an underwater monster, while others believed it to be an extraterrestrial being. Later, experts reassured people, stating that the monster was actually a large Atlantic sturgeon. These fish can indeed reach large sizes, with a body length of up to 3 meters. Louisiana resident Patrick Ford was passionate about finding artifacts in the Mississippi River. On October 2, 2022, he decided to take a walk in the area of shallow sections. From a distance, he noticed a large, unidentified object and approached closer. Imagine his surprise when he discovered the wreckage of a large 19th century trading ship. Patrick Ford contacted experts and shared his discovery. This news intrigued Chip McKimsey, a renowned archaeologist in Mississippi. Chip explained that the found ship was called the Brookhill and was a night ferry. The ship was built in 1896 and sank during a storm in 1915. During a period of intense heat in Spain, the water level in the Las Conchas reservoir significantly decreased, revealing the ruins of an ancient Roman military camp that had been submerged underwater. This camp was first discovered in 1920 by a Spanish archaeologist. During the Roman Empire, these structures served as temporary barracks for legionnaire soldiers. For over 20 years, the archaeologist conducted excavations in this area. However, authorities decided to build a reservoir here, and the ancient Roman camp was completely flooded. Now, archaeologists can once again study the ancient structures and search for valuable artifacts. The bronze head of Emperor Hadrian is currently housed in the British Museum. In 1834, it was found in the River Thames in London. Hadrian, from the Antonine dynasty, served as the emperor of the Roman Empire from 117 to 138 AD. Hadrian is considered the third of the 5 good emperors. He was a skilled military commander, traveler, and art enthusiast. Thanks to the emperor, Hadrian's Wall was built in Britain, helping to prevent raids from the Picts and Brigantes in the north. After Hadrian's visit and the construction of the wall, a bronze statue was erected in his memory. Only a part of it, the head found in the Thames, has survived to this day. The artifact was discovered damaged, with a large hole on the left side of the head, and the pupils were also damaged. The head seemed to have been severed from the main part of the statue. Despite this, the artifact holds great value. In ancient times, people believed in omens sent by stars and natural forces. Today, we rely more on science. However, famine stones still serve as indicators of extreme drought to this day. Famine stones are like messages from the past. Inscriptions left on the stones can date back decades or even hundreds of years. But what unites them is that they emerge from the water during periods of severe drought. Drought has always had a negative impact on crops, livestock health, and transportation. European regions were heavily dependent on these factors, so drought in past centuries always meant famine. That's why people left distressing inscriptions on stones to warn their descendants of an impending difficult period. For example, some inscriptions read, 1947, the year of famine, 1417, the river water almost disappeared, and so on. In 2022, Europe experienced a very hot summer, and the water level in rivers began to rapidly decrease, revealing those famine stones. The Elbe and Rhine rivers in the Czech Republic and Germany were most affected by the drought, where distressing inscriptions on stones were found in large numbers. During a severe drought in Italy, a very valuable archaeological find was discovered, a bridge built during the reign of Nero. Nero became the 5th Roman emperor in 54 AD at the age of 16 and ruled for 14 years. He was recognized as a cruel ruler, but many victories and constructions were achieved during his reign. Scientists refrain from stating that the bridge was built on Nero's orders. It may have been built before his rule and only reconstructed in those years. However, this does not diminish the value of the find. During the reign of the 5th emperor, military parades and celebrations were held on this bridge, and many famous personalities of that era crossed the river using it. Now, during the drought, local residents and tourists can witness the historical legacy dating back to the 1st century AD. During the drought in 2022, not only Europe but also several states in America suffered. Record high air temperatures in Texas led to the depletion of the Paluxy River. The water level became critically low. It was during this period that traces of strange creatures, previously hidden underwater, were discovered. Analyzing this discovery, scientists concluded that they belonged to dinosaurs that lived over 100 million years ago. These were not the only traces of extinct creatures found in the Dinosaur Valley State Park. But the find was truly unexpected. It turns out the traces belonged to a variety of dinosaurs, including the carnivorous reptile Acrocanthosaurus, which lived in the early Cretaceous period. Traces of another dinosaur, Zephyrosaurus, were also found in the park. This creature was truly gigantic, with a height of 18 meters and a weight of about 44 tons. In and around the park, numerous dinosaur tracks can be found, but unfortunately, they will be erased from the Earth's surface forever in the near future. Iraq is one of the countries where drought turns into a real catastrophe. To combat the consequences of the heat, authorities decided to draw water from the reservoir in the city of Mosul. After that, the water level significantly dropped, and in 2018, the ruins of an ancient city were discovered in this area. Archaeologists immediately arrived at the site and began excavations. It turned out that the destroyed structures were part of the city of Zakik, which belonged to the Mitanni state. The found buildings were constructed over 3,400 years ago. Since the city is submerged underwater and the reservoir periodically replenishes, archaeologists are forced to conduct their research only during droughts. To protect the ruins from further negative impact, scientists cover them with a plastic dome. Numerous artifacts were found during the excavations, including vessels with local ornaments and tablets with inscriptions in Hurrian and Akkadian languages. All these discoveries have provided more insights into the ancient state and its inhabitants. The Mosul Reservoir is not the only place harboring the secrets of ancient civilizations. The Tigris and Euphrates were once full-flowing rivers. The land in the valley of these two rivers was incredibly fertile, and it was the birthplace of human civilization, Mesopotamia. Thanks to its favorable location, the ancient region developed rapidly. People no longer needed to be nomadic, they engaged in agriculture and animal husbandry. Later, writing, sophisticated architecture, and even governance emerged. Real cities gradually began to form. Today, Iraq, northeastern Syria, parts of Turkey, and Iran occupy the territory of Mesopotamia. Unfortunately, the once full-flowing Tigris and Euphrates rivers are gradually drying up. In this image, it is evident that only a thin line remains in the place of the former full basin. The drought in the summer of 2022 led to a critically low water level in the rivers. If this trend continues, by 2040, they may completely dry up. It is difficult to believe, and this assumption is very disheartening. After all, it was thanks to these rivers that the greatest civilization in ancient times originated. The anomalous summer heat of 2022 did not spare Italy. The water level in the Po River dramatically decreased. On the dried riverbed, local fishermen discovered a real bomb weighing 450 kilograms, which was submerged during World War II. Authorities immediately decided to evacuate 3,000 people from nearby settlements and dispose of the bomb. During the operation, the airspace over the area was closed and transportation was halted. The found bomb was defused and taken to a quarry, where it was destroyed. The Po River bomb is just one of many others currently underwater, posing a real danger. In the 17th century, people in Europe believed in witchcraft and feared witches. It was believed that in every generation, at least one person lived connected to dark forces and capable of casting a terrible curse. For this reason, people began to protect themselves from witchcraft using witch bottles. Witch bottles may seem like simple talismans, but their contents were not so harmless. For example, inside a witch bottle found in the walls of an old pub in England was a mixture of human blood, urine, and teeth. Recently, in a dried-up section of the Mississippi River, a man was searching for items left from World War II. Quite accidentally, he managed to find a witch bottle. He decided to inspect its contents and discovered a strange liquid, human hair, a tooth, and small insects inside. When he brought his find home, his family strongly urged him to return the bottle to the same place where he found it. 15-year-old George Tyndall was passionate about artifact hunting and dreamed of finding a real treasure chest. Amazingly, he almost succeeded. In April 2022, the teenager, along with his father, explored the bottom of the Witham River in Grantham. Using powerful magnets, they managed to pull a safe out of the water. When they were able to open it, They found 2,500 Australian dollars, firearm ownership certificates, and bank cards in the name of Rob Everett, which had expired in 2004. George and his father decided not to keep the found money and returned them to the owner. They contacted Rob Everett and reported about the safe. Rob turned out to be the head of a large company, and the safe was stolen from his office. The businessman was pleasantly surprised by the honesty of the Tyndall family. He rewarded them and promised George a position after he finished university. India is home to two species of very large crocodiles, the swamp and the mugger. The length of the bodies of male swamp crocodiles reaches 3.5 meters, while mugger crocodiles can grow over 5 meters long. Such reptiles are very dangerous, and during droughts, they often attack humans. In April 2022, a 20-year-old guy named Deepu visited his relatives near the Katerniaghat Wildlife Sanctuary. Together with his cousin, he went for a walk along the canal's shore. Then Deepu decided to get closer to the water to relieve himself. Suddenly, a huge crocodile emerged from the canal, grabbed the guy by the legs, and dragged him underwater. The cousin rushed for help, but the villagers who arrived at the scene could no longer do anything. No one dared to search for the remains of the deceased because the canal is home to many crocodiles. Therefore, if you ever find yourself near a body of water inhabited by dangerous reptiles, do not approach the water closely. Over 500,000 people die annually from crocodile attacks. There's still much more in the world that you haven't heard about. Subscribe to the channel to stay updated on new research. Don't forget to like and share this video with your loved ones. Thank you for your attention, and see you in the next videos.